And one of the things I think that is, and it's not just me, right? This is kind of, I think probably the biggest thing is, and it comes not just from my work, it comes from lots of other people's work, some of which is kind of stimulated, I think, by things that we've done. So when I first started working on this, and the initial discovery was embryos running away from snakes, basically, like snake-induced premature hatching. That was kind of a wild idea. It was not something that we thought of eggs as doing. We didn't think about embryos in eggs as like getting information about the world around them and like changing their behavior and changing their hatching time, making a decision, looking after themselves, essentially, having this kind of defense. We just thought about hatching as like something that was developmental and kind of part of a program that just played out, right? So this is kind of part of a shift of our thinking of development as much more plastic and more environmentally responsive, as well as environmentally impacted compared to how we used to think. And so when I started working on this, like, okay, red-eyed tree frogs, snake-induced hatching. There could have been just like some isolated anomaly. So when I started working on this, we thought that hatching was just this developmental thing. Might have been just one weird frog, right, that did this. But now the evidence has accumulated. Red-eyed tree frogs, for one, hatch and alter their hatching timing in response to lots of things. But we also know that lots of other frogs alter hatching in response to various kinds of risks and opportunities, and fish and turtles and lots of invertebrates, and it's just become this really broad phenomena that you look at eggs and you look at their ecology and their environment and you see like, okay, what are the things that actually could affect their survival in the egg or as like in their extreme youth after hatching. And you see like, well, there's so many experiments now that show adaptive plasticity in hatching in animal after animal after animal. This seems now like a really widespread and broad thing, and it makes sense as a life history switch point. We would expect it to be plastic, and we would expect it to be environmentally sensitive. So metamorphosis, this was known for a long time. Things like the onset of reproduction, maturity, maybe things that have switches between habitats as they develop or at different sizes. All of these things we know are context dependent and respond to environmental variation. People just hadn't put hatching in that category, but now we know it is.